Also late this afternoon, the House voted mostly along party lines, of course. I think there were 2 Republicans who voted yes, along with all the Democrats, to create a select committee to investigate the Trump riots on January 6th in an attempt to overthrow the government of the United States. Now, this was over Republican opposition, which is staggering to me to think that there are just, I don't know, 190 Republicans, Christian fascists in the U.S. House of Representatives who do not want the truth to come out about the most violent, vicious attack on the seat of our government since the War of 1812. It's just unbelievable for people who haven't been fully aware of the degree to which the Christian fascists have infiltrated and devoured and murdered the Republican Party. It is now the Christian Fascist Party. So this inquiry is going to take a look at the security failures and the origins of this attack, the deadliest on Congress in 200 years? The plan to do this was devised by Nancy Pelosi, who I must say at some future point, historians will note that she was one of the most adept, adroit, intelligent, successful speakers of the U.S. House of Representatives in the history of this country. But under her plan, there will be a 13-member panel dominated by Democrats. 8 members of the 13 will be Democrats, and 5 will be Christian fascists. The Select Committee will have subpoena power, which means they can get their hands under penalty of jail, I hope, on the documents necessary to rip the bullshit cover off of this Trumpian attack and show the American people just exactly how close we came to a fascist takeover. This measure to establish the Select Committee passed 222 to 190, with 2 Republicans joining the Democrats. You know who the 2 Republicans are, I am sure. Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger. Pelosi wrote in a letter to all House members today, Wednesday, she wrote, quote, "We have the duty to the Constitution and the country to find the truth of the January 6th insurrection and to ensure that such an assault on our democracy cannot happen again. It is clear that January 6th was not simply an attack on a building, but an attack on our very democracy." End quote. Yeah, engineered by this filthy, rotten Donald Trump. Also, in her letter, Ms. Pelosi said the committee was necessary because Senate Republicans, thanks to the Chinese agent Mitch McConnell of Kentucky, Senate Republicans, Christian fascists, had blocked the formation of an independent bipartisan inquiry into the assault, which left Congress with, quote, "no prospect for a commission at this time," end quote. Think of that. Let's really get reductionist here. Imagine you're, on vacation, and you come home and your house has been totally ransacked. Shit is missing. Keepsakes, family heirlooms. The living room has been trashed. All your electronic devices have been stolen. The bedrooms have been ripped to pieces. The refrigerator door left open. Everything in your refrigerator is rotten. Somebody went through your bedroom with knives and ripped all the mattresses to pieces. And you look at this horror inside. Oh, and they killed your family cat. And you look at this horror and oh my God, So you get on the phone and you call the police. And in your hysteria, you explain to the police why you're calling, and you get this answer from the cops. Sorry, we're not going to investigate. You know, shit happens, lady, or mister. So shit happens. Shit happened to your house. You know, it's no big deal. It's probably just somebody coming through your house looking for directions to the nearest gas station. And any damage to your house was incidental to what they really needed. But no, we're not going to investigate at all. Thank you. Goodbye. Click. This is what the Christian fascists, only on a monumental scale that far exceeds what I just used as an analogy. This is what the Christian fascists say. No, we don't want to know. And you know why they don't want to know. Because they're afraid that the truth will come out on these little teeny weeny gun-toting bastards and their messiah, Donald Trump. And this perverted, sick, destructive Christian fascism that has devoured all of them. They don't want the truth out. The members of Congress don't want the truth out, the Republicans, because they're going to find out in this investigation how many of these Republican swine were involved in the organization of this attack on the U.S. Constitution, the U.S. government, democracy, us, the people. So, of course, they're not going to vote for an investigation. Several of the police officers who were injured in Trump's attack were on hand to watch the vote from the House gallery today. And just for your information, they included Harry Dunn of the Capitol Police and 2 D.C. police officers, Michael Fanone, who has lobbied Republicans to support an investigation. He's the one that McCarthy wouldn't even talk to. Daniel Hodges, who was crushed in a door during the rampage. You remember him with his face pushed up, a youngish guy screaming for mercy. Relatives of Brian Sicknick, the Capitol police officer who died after defending the country against these Trump scum. He joined them, or she joined them, I'm sorry. And, well, actually, it was more than one. It was relatives, plural. And the measure that the House passed today says that 5 members of this panel, the select committee, are to be named, quote, after consultation with the minority leader, end quote. That's Kevin McCarthy of California. And McCarthy has not said whether he will recommend anyone. Kevin McCarthy is guilty up to his goddamn eyeballs, and he knows he is. And I think most people in this country know he is. Last week, he told police officers injured in the riot that he would take the appointment process seriously. But as soon as the cops left, whatever interview he gave them, he just looked at their retreating backs and gave them all the finger. Now, one of Nancy Pelosi's aides said she was actually considering picking a Republican who has acknowledged the seriousness, the gravity of this attack for one of the 8 slots that she will fill with Democrats, ostensibly. And the speculation is she might select Liz Cheney, who was removed from her post as a House Republican leader after she pushed the party to hold itself and Trump responsible for causing this riot. And the bullshit claims that Trump is still using to jerk off his cult followers that the election had been stolen from him. Cheney was one of only 35 House Republicans who voted in June this month to create an independent commission. And she also broke with her party today to vote in favor of forming the Select Committee when the independent commission was nixed by the turtle, Mitch McConnell. In a statement, Liz Cheney said, quote, I believe this select committee is our only remaining option. The committee should issue and enforce subpoenas promptly, should hire skilled counsel, and do its job thoroughly and expeditiously. I'll tell you who counsel should be for this committee is it Ronald, his first name, Goldman, the one who was the counsel for the the first impeachment trial, I believe. And only one other Republican, obviously, Representative Adam Kinzinger of Illinois, will be on or voted for this panel. He may be chosen also. And the rest of the Christian Fascist Party, every other one of these miserable scum in the U.S. House lined up in opposition to this idea. And the Christian fascists insist, what did I hear today, that this would be the third impeachment of Donald Trump. You know, Donald Trump is a useless piece of human waste. Why is anybody talking about this scum sucker on the Christian fascist side of the political aisle? Well, for very simple reasons, as we all know. The Christian fascists are depending on this walks on water, raises people from the dead half-wit, who is their cult leader, their Messiah. Huh? Jesus. Representative Michelle Fischbach, a Republican of Minnesota, according to the Times, argued that the committee would duplicate existing investigations. That's what they're all supposed to say. When the memo goes out from the Christian fascists, that's what they're supposed to say, and that's what the scum on the Fox sewer are supposed to say, and the Onan News and the rest of them, and that the committee will only engage in Ms. Fischbach's words, partisan divisive politics, end quote, which is what they all say now. See, it's divisive. Of course it is, if you go after the truth. Because the Republicans, the Christian fascists, live in a world that is constructed of lies. There is not a gram of truth in anything that an elected Republican says. Not a bit. Nothing. With one or two exceptions. Not a bit of truth. And for the people who vote for these Christian fascist swine, they wouldn't know truth if it came up and bit them on the ankle. Jim McGovern, a Democrat of Massachusetts, responding to what Fischbach said, he answered, quote, "We gave you bipartisan. We gave you bipartisan, so give me a break. This is clear. Your party doesn't want to get to the truth," end quote, which they do not. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcast. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.